Good morning everyone. It's Chandrakala here and today we will start next chapter, that is chapter number 8, current electricity. In class 9th also we have studied one chapter about electricity. So we will revise some old concepts and then we will add some new concepts. So we will start from static electricity. In class 9th we have studied that when two non-conducting bodies are rubbed with each other, then electrons flow from one body to another body, and because of that the body which loses electron acquire positive charge and the body which gains electron acquire negative charge, and due to this charge a small amount of current is produced there. But here after production of charge, those charges remains stationary, that means they remains in the state of rest. They do not move. So this is known as static electricity. So we will start from static electricity. When two non-conducting bodies are rubbed with each other, they acquire some charge and this charge gives rise to electricity, that means electric current. Okay, that means here we have studied that the charge is produced or the current is produced due to flow of electrons. That means we already know that for production of current we need either the moment of electrons or ions. Ions means positively charged ions or negatively charged ions. So from here we get one more concept, that is there are two kinds of charges. There are two kinds of charges. One is positive charge and second one is negative charge. Second is negative charge. One more thing we know, that is same charges repel each other. Same charges means positive positive or negative negative. They will repel each other and opposite charges will attract each other. That means positive negative or negative positive. Just as the opposite poles attract each other in a magnet, similarly opposite charges also attract each other. And we know that charge is denoted by capital Q or small q and its SI unit is coulomb. Okay. Now here our chapter is current electricity. So first of all we should know difference between static electricity and current electricity. We have already discussed right now that in the case of static electricity there is no continuous motion of electrons or ions. That means after acquiring the charges remains at rest. No continuous motion, that's why it is known as static electricity. Whereas in the case of current electricity, there is continuous movement of electrons or ions. That means static electricity is obtained generally from non-conductors, whereas for current electricity we will need conductors, because only in conductors there are large number of free electrons. Free electrons or almost free electrons. That means either the electrons are completely free or they are bounded by a very weak force. So as soon as the potential difference will be provided or a battery or cell will be provided at its terminal, then they will start moving in one particular direction. So this point we have to mention. In the case of static electricity, no continuous motion or moment, no continuous motion of electrons or ions. Okay, whereas in the case of current electricity, there is continuous motion of electrons and or ions. Okay. Now, in class 9th, we have studied one more concept, that is Q is equal to NE. We know that Q is charge N is number of deficient or excess electrons, that means number of free electrons we can say, and E is charge on electron. We know that E, charge on electron, remains constant, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. So if we want to change the value of charge, then we have to change the value of number of free electrons. That means obviously if any material will have more number of free electrons, it can produce more charge and hence more amount of current. That means obviously it will be a good conductor of electricity. Here we can use plus minus sign. If the body is having deficiency of electrons, then obviously it will have positive charge, and if the body is having excess of electrons, then it will have negative charge. One more thing we have studied is, if we want to produce 1 coulomb of charge, then how many electrons should pass through that particular area? E is constant, and we want to find out how many electrons we want to produce 1 coulomb of charge. Here you can use negative sign, no doubt, because actually the charge on electron is negative, but here we have to find out number of particles, and number of particles cannot be negative. For example, if you go to a bookshop for purchasing a book, then you will not say that I want -3 notebooks or -3 books. It's not possible. Number of particles will be always positive or 0. That means here we have not taken negative sign. We want only number of particles, that is 1 upon 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19, which will be 6.25 into 10 raised to power 18. This we have already learnt in last class. That is, if we want to produce 1 coulomb of charge, then at least 6.25 into 10 raised to power 18 electrons should pass through that particular area. Then we will be able to produce only 1 coulomb of charge. Okay. One more thing. Here we are talking about current electricity. So we will always make use of conductor or electrolyte, because electrolytic cell can also give us electrical energy. So here two things are there. In conductors, movement of free electrons is responsible for production of current. That means if the material which you are using, if it is having free electrons, then only it can conduct electricity. Whereas in the case of an electrolyte or electrolytic cell, movement of ions, because we know that in an electrolytic cell, there will be positively charged ions and negatively charged ions, and current in this case will be due to both these ions. That means positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. Whereas here there will be only due to the free electrons. Now we will start our topic, current. So we know that current is rate of flow of charge, and we know that rate means per unit time. That means here we need two things to produce current. One is charge, that is Q, and rate of means time. Therefore current, which is represented by capital I, is equal to Q, that is charge, rate of means per unit time, so divided by time. This is formula for current. Okay, produced in a conductor. Now one more thing which we discussed in last class, same thing we will revise here. In this chapter we will always take a uniform conductor, because we are talking about current electricity, so we will need conductor and uniform, so that its cross section area should not change. That means if you will take any cross section area anywhere in this conductor, it will be same. Cross section area of the conductor should not change. So we know that in a conductor there will be many free electrons when the conductor is not connected with any battery or cell, or we can say when no potential difference is applied across the conductor. Then the electrons, free electrons present in the conductor are simply moving here and there. Randomly they are moving in any direction. So net charge or net current on the conductor is 0. That means now the current flowing through this conductor is 0 because the current produced by any one electron is cancelled by any other electron. Similarly, the current produced by third electron is cancelled by any fourth electron. So that means the overall current in this conductor right now is 0. But as soon as we will connect this conductor with a cell or battery, then we know what we have done. We know the use of cell and battery. So we know that it will have a positive terminal, it will have a negative terminal. And at positive terminal there is deficiency of electrons. And at negative terminal there is excess of electrons. That means there is more negative charge. If this is negative terminal, then obviously this end of the conductor will be negative and this end of the conductor is connected with positive. Now you see those electrons which were moving here in this direction, now they will not move in this direction because here there is already excess of electrons and these electrons are negatively charged and these electrons are also negatively charged. So these electrons will repel these electrons. That means now electrons cannot move in this direction. They have to move only in one direction, that is in this direction. And now why only in this direction? The reason is here is positive terminal. There is deficiency of electrons. So these negatively charged electrons are repelled by this negative charge and get attracted towards the positive charge. So this time now all the electrons, after applying the potential difference, all the electrons will move in the same direction. Therefore, current produced by all the free electrons will be added and now the circuit will have a net current which we can use to run any electric device. So these are the basic things. Now one more thing, to measure current in the circuit, direction of the current will be positive to negative, that we know. Now if we want to measure current in this circuit, we will use an instrument which is known as ammeter. Ammeter is a circular instrument just like our speedometer of vehicle, that means bike and car. And in class 9th, practically we have seen ammeter. Ammeter is always connected in series. Series means within this line of the circuit. Okay, that means you can connect ammeter here, you can connect ammeter here, or you can connect ammeter here. Why in series only? Because if we want to measure total current of the circuit, then whole current of the circuit should pass through the instrument. Then only the instrument will be able to measure that particular quantity. That's why it is always connected in series. Series means in the same line of the circuit. Such combination is known as series. So, and the ammeter will have two terminals. Two terminals will be marked on ammeter, and positive terminal is connected to positive and negative terminal is connected to negative. That means if you have connected this ammeter here, then this is negative terminal of the battery. So here there should be negative terminal of ammeter, and obviously then the other one will be positive. Similarly, if you are connecting here, then it will be positive and it will be negative. That means positive terminal of the battery should be always connected with positive terminal of the ammeter, and negative terminal of the battery should be connected with negative terminal of the ammeter. We do not need to connect so many ammeters. Only one ammeter is sufficient for measuring the current, but the condition is we must connect it in series only. Okay. Now we will talk about its SI units, and that actually we know current I is equal to Q upon T. Charge per unit time or rate of charge is known as current. Okay. And right now we discuss that Q is equal to NE upon T, right? Okay, from here we will find out two concepts. First concept is its SI unit. We know that SI unit of charge is coulomb and time is second. So the SI unit of current unit of current is equal to coulomb per second, which is known as ampere. So the SI unit of current is ampere. One more thing, now since we have defined its SI unit, so now we will have to define 1 ampere. If we want to define 1 ampere, if we want this current as 1 ampere, then obviously this should be 1 and this should be 1. Okay, 1, and since it is charge, so it will be coulomb 1, and this is time. Time means second. That means 1 ampere of current is flowing through a circuit when 1 coulomb of charge passes through its cross-section area in 1 second. This is the cross-section area. Need not to be this. You can take any cross-section area within the conductor. So, if 1 coulomb of charge is passing through this cross-section area in 1 second, then the current produced in this conductor will be 1 ampere. Similarly, one more definition we have seen right now. To produce 1 coulomb of charge, there must be a flow of 6.25 into 10 raised to power 18 electrons in 1 second. That means 1 ampere of current can be produced, or 1 ampere of current is flowing through a circuit or a conductor when 6.25 into 10 raised to power 18 electrons are passing through the cross-section area in 1 second. Then 1 ampere of current can be produced. So these are two definitions of 1 ampere in the terms of number of electrons and charge. Okay, now we will discuss direction of current. We know that in a circuit, direction of current is always from positive terminal of battery to negative. Positive to negative. This is the direction of current. Okay, this we have already shown here. Positive terminal, the current will move from positive terminal to negative terminal. Positive terminal to negative terminal. We know that electrons are moving from negative terminal to positive terminal, and the direction of the current is opposite to flow of flow of electrons, because the direction of current is taken in the direction of flow of positive charge, and obviously the positive charge will flow from positive terminal to negative terminal. If we will have a positive charge, obviously it will flow from positive terminal to negative terminal, because it will be repelled by positive terminal and attracted by negative terminal. But here this whole positive negative is because of flow of electrons. So here the direction of flow of electrons is important. Okay, so whenever we will mention the direction of current, it means that we want to say that the direction of flow of electrons is opposite to this direction of flow of current. So one more important thing, current is a scalar quantity because it does not follow vector law always. That means most of the time it follows, but it does not always follow vector laws of addition and subtraction. So it is a scalar quantity. So, and its direction only indicates the direction of flow of electron, which is opposite to the flow of current. This is the meaning of its direction only. Now we will discuss one more point, and that is electrolyte. So we have already discussed about it, about electrolytic cell or electrolyte. In electrolyte, the production of current is always due to positively charged ions, that is cations and anions. Because we know that in an electrolyte there will be both positively charged ions and negatively charged ions, and due to the both types of ions we are able to get the current. So if there are N1 cations, that means positively charged ions in our electrolyte and charge on each cation is Q1. Similarly, there are N2 anions, that means the negatively charged ions, and charge on it is Q2. Then the amount of current flowing in that electrolytic cell or electrolyte will be equal to N1 Q1 plus N2 Q2 upon T. That will be in the direction of cations, obviously, because direction of current is always taken in the direction of flow of positive charge, and cations are positively charged. So this will be the total amount of current produced or flowing through that particular electrolyte. Next class we will see about potential and potential difference. Thank you.